I've been using Supabase for years already, and I really love the product, and I've been using it to build a lot of projects as well. And so today I'm going to tell you the reason why I might not using Supabase anymore. So first of all, it's about like a personal opinions and the convention of writing a code. So most of my code is I'm using with TypeScript, right? And when I'm building a web app, my code is in TypeScript or JavaScript, for example. And so the problem when I'm running through with Supabase, like the more that I write my code with Supabase, is the more I have to write a lot of Postgres. So I have to write a lot of Postgres SQL, like, as not Postgres, like an SQL, or maybe you can call it like a PSQL. So you have to write a lot of that inside Supabase, in order to make your apps like, working faster or better. So here's one of the example. So for example, if you want in your code, like in your TypeScript code, you probably use Supabase clients to do insert. Maybe I probably like this is not, let's try to get a right syntax, like from some table, and then you probably do insert, right? And this is how you do insert in Supabase, which is okay. And then if you read the code, you understand that, okay, this is we trying to insert into table, into this table. But the problem is that right now, if I want to insert into table in one function, if one of my function need to insert into table, it's possible to do like this, but it's not really good for performance and probably not in a good way, because one thing is like you have to do a 2 round trip each. So the first call called to Supabase and return back, and another call called to this one and to this one. So this is like not a really good, not a recommend way to do it. So if you wanted to do insert into this table like this, so in Supabase right now, what you have to do, you need to write an RPC. So instead of doing that, you probably do supabase.rpc, and then you create an RPC right here. You probably give it a name. It can be any name. So you're gonna call it, for example, right here, I'm gonna call it insert into table. And then, so where the question is, where do I write this function? So right now, everything is in TypeScript. So how do I create this function? So if I want to create this function, I have to write it in Postgres, in Supabase right here. So I have to go to Supabase Studio, and I leave my tag editor right here, and I come back here, and the syntax that I write in here is PSQL, which is like a Postgres. And you can do like a syntax if else loop condition inside this kind of syntax as well. But as you can see, so first I write in TypeScript, and then if I want something to be performance like this, I have to move to Postgres, which, it's okay, but in terms of like, readability, when I look at the code right here, I have no idea on what behind the scene of on what this one's function, the implementation, right? In order to read this one, I have to go back again to the Supabase to see the definition of it. Or another place that you can see the definition of this one is in the, I probably think it's in migration file. If you using with a local, when you run a migration, you will have the function definitions. But as you can see, it's like it's not in TypeScript. Everything is in Postgres and everything. And if you wanted to change, if you want to make change, you can imagine how it feels like, right? And so it's not that really easy. And so how do we solve this problem? So some people, they solve this problem as of right now. They actually use 2 client library. So first they use Supabase clients, and to connect to, like, for doing inserts, normal insert. And if they want to do transaction, some people probably do using like Keysly. Probably Keysly, like this one, Keysly. I'm not sure if like I spell it right, Keysly, like a database, this one right here, or maybe you using Drizzle, I do not know. Like, but the result of you doing this one, you result into 2 clients to interact with your database, and so that is like the problem. And mainly this one they use for like a transaction, and so that's it. So this is like the pain, not the pain, it's like, yeah, this is like a workaround for this, to avoid using the RPC. And yep, so that is like the pain point. I think in the past, I do not really care too much about this one. I actually really enjoy writing RPC. I really enjoy writing Postgres, PSQL, because I can learn a lot of things. I learn about Postgres. I learn about writing a raw query by myself. I really enjoy it. But then when I work with my team, and so it was really hard, for them to adapt to this one. They not only have to know TypeScript, but they have to know Postgres syntax as well. And the workflow of it's not really clean and easy to manage, because you have to look up from not only from the code that you write, you have to look up the code that you write in Supabase as well, and mostly in like the migration files. And so this is not really easy to do with the team. Like if I do this by myself, I'm okay with this one. But when I work with my team wanted to read TypeScript code only. They know TypeScript, they can read TypeScript, they can understand what this one do, like this one right here, and then they probably understand this one, but the deep dive, like implementation is really hard, and when it's become too complex, like the function is getting complex. One more reason is like my team is like not really like about using this one. Is like, so for example, about the policy. So the policy is like, can I write to this table? And so when you insert in this one, what about policy? So the policy, where can I write? How to check this one? Once again, you have to look it into Supabase. That's where it lives, where the policy high. So from the code perspective, if you read this one, you have no idea like, okay, how this is actually, can insert or not, and from the user perspective. And so the only way is like you have to check in Supabase again, and how and if you wanted to know like in-depth definition, like whether they can write or not, is once again is Postgres. And so they have to understand both TypeScript and Postgres at the same time. So that's is like we need that kind of people. And I think most people know like TypeScript and Postgres, but just experience. What I want is like my team or to do is like, okay, what you need to do is just code it here in TypeScript and do everything, and then yeah. So that's what I want, and that's it. I guess that's probably much better than jumping one to another. I mean, which is fine, right? It's just personal experience. So I wanted to just focus writing, building thing. I don't want to jump from one to another and switching from TypeScript to Postgres and back to TypeScript and back to Postgres. And so it's like, nah, probably that's not a good ideas to do that. And yeah, when thing is getting too complicated and your SQL getting bigger and bigger, that's where it's become hard to maintain. And that's the reason why I might breaking up with Supabase. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you face the same issues that I face as well, or is there any solution that to solve these issues? Just that's how I feel. That's my experience as a developer. Like the DX is not really good for me and for my team, so specifically. And so for that reasons, that's why I'm consider breaking up with Supabase. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and in probably next video I'll probably to find some other backend service to use, and see you in the next video.